Hi Cancer, how are you? Welcome to your September 2017 reading. Thanks so much for being here. I'm doing a little astrological overview for all the signs before I begin. So for you, Cancer, for everyone, we've got all the planets moving into Virgo. The Sun, Mars, Mercury doing its retrograde thing between Virgo and Leo. Eventually we'll be moving back direct into Virgo, and then eventually Venus will get there as well. Now, Virgo rules your third house, which is, we think of the third house, we think of Gemini energies, expression, we think of communication, we think of knowledge and school and our little communities and our neighborhoods and things like that. I don't know why when I'm thinking about this, there's a lot of emphasis around, this is just an intuitive thing, but like I think some of you are really going to start taking up something like journaling or blogging or something around the words, or sharing your knowledge with people. For any of you homemakers out there, really getting involved in the blog scene or Instagram or something like that. I'm seeing a lot of technology related things as well. There is a blurred line. Okay, we've got all these planets eventually coming into opposition with Neptune. Okay, Neptune being in Pisces, ruler of your ninth house. And Neptune really, like I said, it blurs lines. It causes boundaries, lack thereof, lack of boundaries as well. If there is some emotion that you have, okay, and you feel like now's a good time to express yourself, Neptune can kind of make things more idealistic. And being in, the ninth house, there's a very wide open spaces kind of view to everything. So just be cognizant of your desire to kind of put yourself out there and make sure that there's a safety net kind of thing, because Cancer being so sensitive and having such a tough exterior, it can be difficult to get those mouths moving and to do it. But I'm not saying you will get rejected, but I am just saying that there could be some confusion, because Neptune can often cause confusion, and it can also cause self-doubt. And I'm telling everyone that now is a really good time to set forth intentions and to set forth a plan of what you want to accomplish this month. And if anything kind of comes in and kind of interrupts or confuses that, or you start feeling a little bit lackadaisical and kind of like, I can do it tomorrow, and really not worry, that's the Neptune kind of coming in and kind of messing up with things. So just keep yourself on point, keep yourself on par, because there could be a lot of productivity going on, especially also with your health, because Virgo is the ruler of health. And to get your body, mind, and spirit is what I'm telling everybody. It's all about that. So with that said, let's begin with the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups, which just fell out. Okay, Pisces, like what I just say, Neptune in Pisces. I'm using a new deck, the Hermetic Tarot deck, and it is black and white. I think it's showing okay. And let me turn my camera down. Okay, fix the lighting. Okay. Such a janky setup, guys. It's like so bad. Okay, there we go. Whatever. Knight of Cups. Wearing your heart on your sleeve. What did I just say? About, your openness and being very, almost like available. Some of you are very available. Some of you are very ready for love. Some of you are ready to express the way you feel towards someone. Again, be careful that there's safety, right? And I'm not going to say like to test your partner or, to play little games to make sure, but I just don't want to see you putting yourself in a situation that's going to maybe backlash a little bit, especially with after this solar eclipse, and we've had so much, focus on releasing negativity and getting people out of our lives that really don't serve us anymore. with those types of energies and that types of focus, it's really important to focus on you and to make sure that your life is on track and that you are focused on your goals. And again, with Virgo, there is a lot of finance and practicality matters at play, okay? So work and finance. So that would be the best place for you to dedicate your efforts. Let's see what else comes out. And I think you'll see a lot of flow, because with Saturn going back direct this week, we're gonna start like all this resistance that we've all been feeling for the past few months, it's all kind of like drifting away. And then we have the Ace of Swords. This came out in the sign of Gemini that I just did as well. So there could be something that comes to light, or there could be something that is said, some truth that occurs. Sometimes that truth can pierce our ego. Sometimes it can boost our ego as well. This could be, often this is something coming in, okay? It's a very powerful energy. We've got the Lord of the Root of the Powers of Air. That's one thing I love about this deck. So this is the Lord of Waves and Water, okay? It's got lords and spirits and stuff. And when you think of the power of air, you think of the power of thought, power of mentalism, the power of what our minds can actually do. And you being a water sign and being so connected with the ether, it's like a whole force that occurs when your emotional water side connects with your intellectual mental side, because then you can then act in accordance to both thought and emotion and become incredibly productive and really begin to manifest the beautiful things that you've set out to do. That's why I'm saying, like, really keep the focus in on you this month if you can, because it's going to prove to be beneficial for you. Princess of Wands, like the Page of Wands, day by day, with enthusiasm and excitement and optimism. You know, a Cancer is not necessarily always known for being the most optimistic. Okay, I think there's just the depth, right? And so, and you're so connected to people, and you have such a high intuition, and you have such a, like, there's a lack of barrier there with all the water signs in terms of like true human behavior and the psychology of human beings. And you do tend to see the darkness in people a lot, because there is a lot around you sometimes, you know, and you're very connected and in tune with it. So it's very common for a Cancer to really shell up and to lose faith, you know, lose faith in the goodness of others at times. But this is a beautiful month for you to let that optimism shine and to not worry so much about, you know, other people, and to not worry about what they're doing with their life. And, you know, the ebbs and flows. Two of Pentacles, we've got the Lord of Harmonious Change. How beautiful is that? Harmonious change. You are in a transitionary moment, you know, and there's no reason for you not to really keep your head up, and no reason for you not to be excited about what's to come, because there's a major shift. This is associated with Jupiter. You can see the symbol of Jupiter up there. And when you think of Jupiter, you think of expansion. It's also associated with Capricorn. Capricorn and Jupiter, like, come on, there's nothing more exciting than that, because you have the mountain goat, mountain climbing energy of like up, 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 go, 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 forward, 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 with the lack of limitation of Jupiter. Curiosity about what's next, curiosity about what else is left to come. And to be very like, just there's so much positivity here, in spite of the fact that some of you may have had difficulties with your love relationships. Again, the past 4 months have been incredibly difficult. I'm not going to take that away from you. And yes, you are feeling tired, and yes, you are feeling drained, and yes, you are feeling sadness, or you have, right? Some of you have, not all of you. But now is the time to control the mind, to choose which side of the pole you wish to reside. And when I say that, this is the law of polarity in, the Kabbalion natural law. So we have, let's use the love-hate example, okay? Love and hate are essentially the same thing. It's just a variance of degree. Hot and cold, it's the same thing. It's just a varying in degree. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of you who have maybe been residing in some of the, so when you take hot and cold, you've been residing in the cold side a little bit. And now what's happening, harmonious change, is you are making that transition, sliding to the warmth and sliding to the happiness, sliding to the goodness. But it takes mind power. Remember, the powers of air. So power can be used for good or evil. Power can be used however you wish to use it. And some of you may choose not to use it for good and to go into this very, again, this very Neptunian, well, it's not really Neptunian. I see Neptunian as being optimistic sometimes, but it, like leaving it up to the forces that be rather than within your control, I guess, let's say that. And there's no need, because you truly are the one that has control over how you perceive a situation to be. And, one of the things about this that I often see is re-evaluation. And with this Mercury retrograde, this re-evaluation phase, what is an evaluation? It's asking questions, asking questions and to asking the right questions, like, what do I have to be grateful for today? And how do I make my life better today? And how do I achieve a better financial situation? How do I achieve greater, more in-depth love today? And to trust that your mind, because your mind is all-knowing, right? Because it's connected with the ether. And you, Cancer, you are so connected with the ether. And all the answers to all our questions reside in the ether. All you have to do is just inquire. Inquire and the answers will come. They're sitting there prime, waiting to come to light. Two of Swords, Libra and the Moon. Okay, let's talk about Two of Swords. It is a point of decision, and it doesn't surprise me. 2 and 2 connected with the High Priestess, the number 2 in the major arcana. High Priestess being what? The intuition. Okay, surprise, surprise. Look, your intuition is in full force this month, guys. And now is your ability to begin to express yourself, like I was saying. Even if it's just journaling, or even if it's just writing things down, things that will help you to allow realizations to really come to light, and to be asking yourself positive questions and reinforcing yourself with positive, just positivity in general, positive people, because there has just been so much junk going on. There has been. Now, this Emperor I'm really seeing as being you. Actually, hold on. Let me revise that, because you obviously are the Knight of Cups, no doubt. Let me just go with my first instinct. When it was like, that's them for sure, 100%. Because they're kind of working against each other. You've got the Emperor and the Knight of Cups with their backs to one another. That was my first instinct when I got it. As some of you may be dealing with a fire sign or an Aries. There's been so much fire energy with all this Leo stuff happening. And they're kind of like not really super happy about turning the spotlight over to Virgo. So they're still kind of like lingering and being full force with what it is they're trying to do. But let's talk about it for you, because let's talk about the Emperor. And you see that up there with the balls? That represents the cosmos. In a little booklet, it talks about that being the cosmos. And we talk about the Emperor is having control. So control over what? The cosmos. And control over himself. A lot of self self-control, self-mastery. You know what I mean? And when we see this little bee, there's a little bee there. Bee is the alchemical symbol for Aries. Aries being a Mars energy. It's about action. It's about doing. It's about creation. The act of creation. Okay, look, I'm talking in symbols, and I'm talking like little piece by piece to help you kind of piece the pieces of the puzzle together, because it's such an important message for you, indicating your true power this month. And a lot of times Cancer, it's such a, it's associated with the 4th house, and it's a very, it's ruled by the moon, which is the mother or Hera in mythology. And, often the moon is in conflict with the Venus, and there's just like all sorts of things. But there's so much power with a Cancer that sometimes gets overshadowed and gets overlooked by this more docile archetype. But at the end of the day, because of your connection with the ether, it really is one of those things that gives you even more power than, another sign. And here we have the power of the air, power of the thoughts, power of the mind. And so what's happening here with you guys is a major transition where I think you're taking your power back. You know what I mean? Where maybe there's been a situation that just felt like it was so far out of your hands that you just couldn't even, you couldn't even deal with it, and you couldn't even rein it in even a little bit. And now here you are with the opportunity to do so, and it's a beautiful thing. And now we have the 8 of Wands. Well, what's that? Swift action. The Lord of Swiftness is what it's called. Swift changes, swift revision. Now, we also get the 6 of Cups. 6 of Cups. The number 6 is associated with beauty in the Kabbalah tree of life, okay? Which means the number 6 is the most beautiful of all the numbered signs. And it's connected with Scorpio, which is a fellow water sign, the Scorpio and the Sun. Another Mars, because Mars is ruling Scorpio, okay? Which indicates action. Now, 6 of Cups does have that element of things coming back from the past. It has that element of nostalgia. I often see it as being a little bit magical, little miracles happening, people coming back, people resurfacing, sometimes even relationships rekindling, or finding the sweetness within relationships, okay? And a lot of that could have to do with communication, with expression. Being a crab, the sign ruled by the crab, you can be close-knit, a little bit tight-lipped at times. But again, ensure that you have safety there. And again, I don't know how you're going to do that. I don't really know what that means. I'm just being inspired to say it, to ensure that there's safety. Because if there's not safety, it could pull you back and kind of sabotage future efforts. You know what I mean? So if you're feeling unsure, now would be a time for you to really just focus on other things and to let the time come when it needs to come, and to not force it. Focus and use this power of creation and the power of, evading the pendulum swing, and what I mean by that is that, we're constantly in this flux. The planets are always moving, always changing, energies are always shifting, and the more an understanding you have of what the planets are doing, the more you can be objective, because you're like, okay, I don't need to overreact right now because Mars is transiting Saturn right now, or, Pluto is transiting Mercury, or Mercury's transiting Pluto, and there's these connections here, and I just need to recognize that that's what's happening in the cosmos, that's what's happening in the stars, that's what astrology is doing, and I don't have to be a victim to those energies, and really staying your course in spite of what's going on. It's mind power, power of mentality. the universe, the world. See the symbol of Saturn up there? Interestingly enough, this is a Saturnian energy, meaning you've earned a rite of passage. And what you've gone through the past few months, doesn't it feel like you've earned something? Doesn't feel like you deserve something? You deserve some change, you deserve some happiness, you deserve some goodness. You know, at times I would even, I used to say, you know, we're not really entitled to stuff, but you've earned it. You know what I mean? And now is such a breath of fresh air with what's been happening. It's like we can breathe again. Here's this beautiful knight, Princess of Wands, like the Page of Wands. You really may be hearing from someone from the past, okay? Now, I actually didn't really talk about this as far as someone else. I'm sorry about that. Let me go back to it, because if this is someone else in your life and in your relationship, it's very possible that you are going to have to exhibit a great deal of independence this month, okay? Because they're kind of doing their own thing. They're working out their own stuff. And you're going to have to kind of provide your own sense of emotional security within yourself, all right? They're fire and water, a little bit on opposite ends of the spectrum right now. And they might be a little bit overbearing if you are trying to like collaborate with someone or trying to work with someone or whatever. That's why it's so important for you to do your own thing, okay? And if you don't feel safe with someone, again, use that intuition of yours. You have the number 2. Think of the High Priestess, okay? If you're feeling unsure, just don't do it. If you're sure, then yes, by all means, move forward. Say what you gotta say, do what you gotta do, express yourself, tell someone how you feel, make a change where it's needed, okay? That's what Virgo's all about. It's all about, and Mercury retrograde combined, it's all about reevaluation. And like I said, asking yourself all the right questions. How do I make this relationship better? How do I make myself happier? How do I feel more confident? How do I feel, you know, whatever it is that your specific issues that you're having, asking yourself in a positive way, not like, why does this stuff always happen to me? Again, power of mentalism, right? Power of the mind. Because if you say, why does this stuff always happen to me? You're implying that this stuff always happens to you. So the universe is going to give you more of what always happens to you. So self-speak is important. And you being a little bit raw and being a little exposed this month, you know, like I said, stay true to the course. This is, look, the Lord of Peace restored. I didn't even really talk about this, which means that there is going to be balance this month for you, 100% balance. Your emotions may seem to even out over the course of the month, maybe not right now, but to even out over the course of the month, to find a steady ground, to find sturdiness and security here, and to really be ready for what is to come. This is a very brief break in what's happening, you know. Coming October, there's going to be more and more activity. This month is somewhat subtle. It is somewhat subtle. And if you are embarking upon educational activities this month, full moon in Pisces as well as Neptune is like conjunct. So a higher, you know, if you are wanting to learn something, this is such a beautiful month to begin those types of efforts for yourself in order to prepare yourself for what is to come. This is a month of preparation for you, so use it wisely because it's not going to last very long. You know how quickly time goes. Okay, kind of all over the place, guys, but at the same time, I think there were lots of little elements, lots of little nuances in what's going on in your life. So it's important for you to know. All right? Okay, I'm going to leave you guys with that. Thank you so much, and that's it. Take care. Bye.